So it's been a little while. If you didn't know, I've spent the last month or so documenting my comic making process for a new project I'm trying out based on a challenge that Popcross Studios mentioned in one of his latest videos. But in that last month, I've also been working on a collaboration video, this one you're watching right now, with Galahound19, another artist here on YouTube. They came to me and presented some really cool ideas that mixed both original character design and fusions. As you know, two of my favorite things to do on this channel. And the first idea they presented is rolling a set of dice and having those numbers determine what a warrior OC of ours is gonna look like. So without further ado, let's create some chaos. So first up, we have the dice roll portion of this video. I have my dice here that's about to see the most action in a year, and we are going to roll for the attributes on this sheet that me and Galahound found together. And I have a camera set up off to the side on this tiny little white sheet that I'm gonna do my best to aim for. And so here we go. So for first roll, we're going for powers. And I already missed it, but it landed on a 6. It is an Earth type warrior. There we go. Next up is outfit, considering the color of the armor and the shape. So we're gonna do 2 rolls for this one. First one, 5, green armor. That makes sense for Earth. And what kind of shapes will be on it? Another 6, star shapes. Ooh, that seems fun. All right, continuing with the outfits, we have the type of armor it's going to be, or a stretchy old suit, whatever that means, but here we go. 5. 5. Ooh, normal armor. I don't know what that means, but I guess that means creative freedom. Next up, how long is the hair gonna be? Backing up. That's a 2. 2 is gonna be short hair. I like it. Next up, we determine the weapon this character is gonna have. I'm kind of hoping for bow and arrow because I think that'd be fun to draw, but let's see. That almost flew off the table. But if you trust me, that landed on a 1. And I'm being 100% honest, it is a bow and arrow. It just happened to work out. I promise I'm not doctoring the rolls. It's just really hard to get onto this stupid mouse pad. All right, anyway, we're going more into physical attributes now. So this next roll is for the eye color, which we got a 4. Ooh, black eyes. That's interesting. Maybe we can do black sclera and white pupils or white irises, or just fully blacked out eyes. Those could both be very cool. All right, next up, species. We got elf, human, witch, wizard, or try again. It's at the very top of the screen, but we rolled a 2 for a elf, actually. All right, elf, cool, sounds fun. Types of potions they use. We got health, speed, poison, or sleepy. I kind of want sleepy. And we rolled a 6. Sleepy it is. Man, I gotta start saying what I want more. I'm doing really good at this. All right, teen, adult, or old. I'm hoping for adult. Here we go, roll. I got old. That's a 5. So we're going for an old elf with black eyes, a bow and quiver. Wow, this is just really an elf, isn't it? All right, so we have an earth-powered old elf archer who's just not very good at a lot of things. That's gonna lead to an interesting character. So let's jump into it. Honestly, I can't tell which was the best part of this collab. Obviously, recently I've gotten really into original character designing, which was really cool, but then again, the things we planned for the next 2 drawings were also really fun to do. But the next 2 drawings hinge on this one getting done, so let's look at this dice roll warrior OC first. I have to say, overall, I'm pretty happy with the things I've rolled just by sheer chance. And then the ones that I wasn't so happy with, I simply forgot to include them. Oopsies. But after working on a webcomic every day for the past month, I wanted to use this video as an opportunity to try out some new things with my art. For this piece specifically, I wanted to try working with gradient maps and more abstract or patterned backgrounds. In other words, colors were essentially the last step of my process this time around. I went through my art process as usual up to the line art stage, but when it came time for flatting colors, I stuck to only shades of gray with zero saturation or hue at all. I don't know why, but this was a really fun method to work with. I did struggle a bit making the potion vials look like glass and had to add in a couple separate layers for that element specifically, but I got the effect I wanted, which I'm really glad for, especially since I was trying out the gradient maps. And the gradient maps itself, despite being a relatively new area I'm working with, were pretty easy to figure out. The way a gradient map works is it takes all the values from black to white and you can assign it different colors based on where they fall on the value scale. So for this one, since I rolled green, I stuck to primarily shades of green, teetering into territories of blue or yellow, depending on how dark or light the values were respectively. And with that, it came out with a really cool effect to it that was able to really separate the different parts of the character. Like the skin, the hair, and the clothing all use different shades, and so adding in that gradient map, you could easily distinguish all three from each other. I will say though, the arrow itself might be a little too close in value to the skin, because the one that's holding the arrow between the fingers when pulling back the bow does kind of get a little blended in. I could have done a little more with the shading on that one. Now regarding specific design elements of this character, I found it pretty funny that I rolled both the elf race and an elderly character. From my understanding of elf races in fantasy, the two basically canceled each other out, and I could draw my character in whatever age range I wanted to and just say that they were really old. And the stars themselves were a fun challenge, trying to find places to include them while making them prominent enough where it didn't feel like a cop-out. I think making them the knee pads and the buckles was a good placement, and it serves as a clean motif, and I really like the uneven lengths on some of the points. It gives it a bit of flair. And for the background in this piece, like I said, I wanted to go something with a little more abstract or patterned, and so I tried using these sweeping lines from one side of the canvas to the other to give this sense of motion, really inspired by the Matt Fraction Hawkeye run and the Hawkeye Disney Plus show. If I'm wrong about that author, please correct me. I only kind of know about the cover and the art style, not so much the author, so I might be wrong about that. I apologize. But first up, we have our Wario C. Let's take a look. So what I rolled was Earth, green armor, star shape, normal armor, short hair, a bow and arrow, black eyes, elf race, sleep potions, old, and optimistic. The final result looks like this.
Oh, that is sick, man. I love it.
Yeah, I was playing, I tried playing around with a gradient map, so everything was shaded in grayscale, and then I put a gradient map of the different shades of green over it.
He's like an elf version of Green Arrow.
Yeah, kind of.
Much cooler.
Yeah.
I like the whole background effect you got here. Really draws the eye in.
Yeah, I've been playing with like abstract backgrounds and stuff.
I'm really impressed.
Thank you. Now, the next part of this collab was for us to take this dice roll OC that we got and fuse it with a Marvel Rivals character of the other person's choice. For what I assigned Galahound, you'll have to watch their video for, but Galahound assigned me Magic. Now, I'm pretty sure with whatever character I was given, I would have looked at the character model and died a little bit on the inside at the insane level of detail I would have to try and replicate. But Magic for sure has her design elements that make her a really tough character to work with. Specifically, that sword and all the big blocky elements that make up the handle. There's also the added fact that Magic has her Darkchild form, which gave me a little bit more to work with. That being said, I didn't choose one character or the other for this fusion piece. Rather, I picked and chose different elements from both Magic and Darkchild and grafted them onto my Warrior OC from round 1, taking Darkchild's general body type and hair, Magic's sword with a few creative liberties, and made a really cool design that I want to repurpose for something else because it's very fun, but also very hard to draw in a repeated sense for, like, I don't know, maybe a comic. And by making this more monstrous version of the character, I was able to work out that lore-wise we can have this archer turn into this monstrous form when they fall asleep. Somewhere in the same vein of Ida from the Owl House mixed with Zenitsu from Demon Hunter, since the dice deemed that this original character had to involve sleep potions in its design in some way, shape, or form. So I thought that was a cool way to include the design elements into the character's story and kind of tied into the Marvel Rivals fusion portion of this collab, while, you know, kind of being able to keep it original and not just being like, this is Magic from Marvel Rivals, like a way for me to repurpose it. And the background for this piece too was also a lot of fun. It's more scenic than the last one because admittedly I wanted to go with a splash art of the character because I thought it would have been quicker. How stupid, I know. But that's because I was also working on the comic this month and I wanted to make sure I was able to get both done on time. But with that splash art came a background. I tried to stick mainly with color, shapes, and shading rather than using line art so we can keep the viewer's focus on the character in the foreground and just have the background there to add a little extra spice. Then I experimented with laying over a couple different brush effects from Clip Studio Paint to get the rocky and dirty texture that makes up the actual landscape, opting to stick with warm reds and oranges to make the overall atmosphere look like hell as well.
Now, if my memory serves me correct, I recommended Magic, the blondie with the crop top and the glowing sword for you.
Yes.
I want to see what that fusion looks like.
All right. You might be a little disappointed because I also took a lot of design elements from Darkchild for the thing. So it was kind of a three-way fusion, but this is what I came up with.
Oh, I am not disappointed at all. This is awesome.
Yeah.
Like, all the way awesome, man.
Thank you. I mean, the arm's kind of covering it, but I could get away with saying he's wearing a crop top.
Mm-hmm.
You just can't see it.
Yeah. I haven't really done a full body design. Not that I'm complaining. I'm just a little curious.
Yeah, I was trying to do like more splash art pieces, so like dynamic poses and air quotes animated backgrounds, just to try some new stuff.
Okay, this looks pretty darn cool.
And here we are at our final part of the collab. Now, as you can see by there already being a finished drawing on your screen, I tried something a little different with this drawing. Instead of drawing this admittedly pretty complicated design from scratch, I wanted to see what I could do by simply drawing the venomized version of this character over the original. Somewhat similar to how other artists on YouTube will paint over paintings that they found at thrift stores. Except in this case, I'm the creator of both the original and the modified version. This was a fun new experience, and I probably could have given my computer a little breather by just drawing over a JPEG rather than copying the entire Clip Studio file, since I didn't alter the original in any way. And since I was essentially working with a flat image that I had to add details to, I had to be very meticulous and intentional with my lines and shadings throughout the entire process. Because of the pose I chose in the original fusion, a lot of the venomized parts of the body wound up overlapping with each other. So if I was too loose with my airbrush shading as I usually am, I would have ended up shading the wrong parts constantly, and it would either look weird or I would have to spend extra time going back and erasing some things, adding in others, redoing certain sections where the overlap was too big. But staying thoughtful with how I was going about the lines and cell shading made that overall process easier all around. And it's been a while since I've venomized something, but usually when I do, the drawings will have backgrounds to them. But those backgrounds usually come as more of an afterthought, especially in the Amazing Venomized Circus series I did, where those backgrounds were 3D modeled after I had drawn the original drawings. But by having a full finished drawing in front of me at the start of this venomization process, I took the environment and lighting more into account when shading the symbiote than I usually would, using oranges and reds for the shadows and highlights as opposed to my normal purple and yellow. The main reason I wanted to focus on this kind of environmental lighting is because, as I mentioned, I'm working on a comic alongside doing YouTube videos, and I want to get better at making my characters seem like they fit more in with their surroundings. And then you also suggested that we take these fusions and venomize them.
That I did. I can't wait to see what you've designed.
Yes, so admittedly, I tried a new kind of thing. So I took my fusion of the two characters, and then I created a separate file, and without changing that original image, I tried to venomize over that original image to see how that would look. Kind of just like try up different style things and really like try to match that lighting from something that's already set in place and see if I can match that on top of it.
This is pretty cool, man.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, I really like it.
Yeah, I'm really trying to get a better understanding of that, of how shading works in different environments. So like, since this is a predominantly red and orange type of environment, that I really used lots of reds and yellows for the shading and the highlights.
Okay. Well, this is pretty cool.
Yeah, thank you. I mean, I thought the Warrior OC was cool, but the Warrior OC fused with Magic and Darkchild, infinitely cooler. Thank you so much to Galahound19 for approaching me with this collab. This was a lot of fun. And if you want to see what their OC and their fusions look like, make sure to go check out their video, which will be linked right here in about 10 seconds. Thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoyed this part of the collab, feel free to hit the like and subscribe button. And like I said, make sure to go watch Galahound's portion of the collab to see their artwork, and subscribe if you enjoy their content. My name is KyngPin Creations. I will see all of you in the next video, which will hopefully be art fight themed. Take care, everybody.